Today on our 2017 Chrysler 300C, we're going to be taking a look at showing you how to install the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13093. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. As you can see, it's tucked nice and far underneath the bumper here. It's going to be a Class 3. It's going to be 2 inch by 2 inch. It's going to have a 5/8 inch in diameter hitch pin hole. As you can see, it has a nice reinforced collar on your receiver tube. It's going to have a rolled steel safety chain loops. Gives you plenty of room for different size safety chains. Your cross tube is going to be fairly hidden. Your hitch sits far enough back behind your bumper, behind the edge of your bumper. You don't have to worry about hitting your legs on it, your shins. It's going to have a 350-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. It's going to have a 3,500-pound max trailer weight, which is the trailer plus the load included. Now, I do recommend checking your owner's manual to make sure your vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. And you're going to want to pick the lowest weight between the hitch and the vehicle. Now, CURT does require the use of a stabilization strap for any non-wheeled loads. Now we will give you a couple measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch mount accessories you may need, such as a bike rack, ball mount, or cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of the bumper will be about 6.5 inches. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube will be about 10.5 inches. Now, it's a good idea to get a raised shank for better ground clearance. Now let's show you how to get this installed. To start our installation, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have 2 exhaust hangers on this side. We're going to have 2 exhaust hangers on this side. Now, per the instructions, it says just to take down these 4 exhaust hangers. We're going to take one step farther, and we're going to take down this exhaust hanger here and this one here, just to give us some extra room, because we have this cover that is covering our exhaust. I want to give myself enough room that I can take this and lower it enough, I can move it around and it'll sit below it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a strap. Because we're taking down these 2 here, I want to support it so it doesn't hang on itself. I'm just going to take the strap. I like to hook it to the spring. You don't necessarily have to hook it there. You can hook it anywhere you can get it on. So we're going to start by using a 1/2 inch socket. We're going to take out that bolt there. And we're going to take out this one back here. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're going to take some lubricant or soapy water, and we're going to spray it right here on this edge of this hanger so we can pull this isolator off. We're going to do the same thing with the one back here. Now I'm going to be using an exhaust hanger tool. Next, we're going to take out these 2 nuts right here on the back of the bumper fascia. We're going to be using a 10mm socket. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of this fascia and I'm just going to kind of pull down on it a little bit to see if I can't give myself some more room from this plate that's covering the exhaust. Now, because our exhaust is welded, we're going to have to remove our back fascia. If your exhaust is not welded, you have the option of removing just one of your exhaust pipes or your mufflers. What we're going to do is we're going to take a flathead screwdriver and we're just going to pull out these fasteners along the liner here. Next, we're going to take a T30 star bit to remove this bolt here. Next, we're going to go over the other side and do the same thing. Next, we're going to move these fasteners right here. We're going to have 4 of them along the bottom of our fascia. Again, we're just using a flathead screwdriver. So with an extra set of hands, what we're going to do is we're going to start here on the sides by the wheel well. We're just going to gently pull out. We're going to work from outside and go in. You're going to have one little bolt right down here on the bottom corner. It's going to be 7mm. And that's going to pull you away from this bracket here. We're going to do that on both sides of the vehicle. So now you're going to have some sensor wires here. What you're going to do is you're going to push down on the back, so unplug it. And as we go around pulling the fascia off, unplug this big one. You're just going to pull up on this gray tab here. And we're just going to set this aside somewhere safe to reinstall it. So from here we can set our hitch into place. What we're going to do is we're going to go up over top the exhaust. Now you can't rest it on your exhaust. You want to make sure you have a strap so you don't put pressure on it. So here on the driver's side, we're going to be using 1 carriage bolt and 1 spacer plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the spring end of our feed wire and we're going to push it up through this small hole. We want to come out that. First, we're going to take our spacer block. We're going to go ahead and push it up into the hole over your feed wire. Then you're going to take your carriage bolt, thread it onto the spring end of the feed wire. Go ahead and push it up in the hole. Then you're going to pull it back down like that. Make sure you leave your feed wire attached. Here on the passenger side, we're going to be using a spacer block and a carriage bolt, and we're going to be using 3. Next, we're going to take our feed wires and we're going to feed them through the proper holes in the hitch. Here on the driver's side, it's going to be the very front hole. On the passenger side, it's going to be all 3. On the driver's side here, we're going to be using a hex bolt, conical tooth washer. You want to make sure the conical tooth washer, the teeth are facing toward the hitch. Next, you can go ahead and remove your pull wire and put your provided nut on your bolt. I'm going to repeat this on the passenger side of the vehicle. Once you have all your hardware in, go ahead and tighten everything up. We're going to be using a 3/4 inch socket. I find it easier to also use a swivel. You may have enough play or enough room to move the exhaust if you don't have the swivel. Once you have everything tight, you can torque it down to the specifications and the instructions. Next, we're going to reinstall the exhaust. We're going to start with this very forward hanger and move our way to the back of the car. Now we're going to have 2 exhaust hangers on the driver's side and 2 exhaust hangers on the passenger. Next, we can remove our support strap. Once we have our exhaust back in place, we can go ahead and reinstall our fascia. You want to make sure that you plug your sensors back in if you have them. We're going to have this plug on this corner, and you're going to have another one on the other side of the vehicle. Again, we're going to use a 7mm socket to reinstall the screw. Next, we're going to move up to this top one up here in the top of the wheel well. Now I'm using a star bit, but you can use a 10mm socket. Will also fit on this bolt. And that'll do it for the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13093 on our 2017 Chrysler 300C.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.